Hey everyone, just Josh dropping in at the start of this just to say I effed up. I didn't record until about halfway through this podcast. Enjoy the rest of the podcast and some bad audio for some of it from me.
Hello and welcome to ETTO's Catch Up. I'm Will.
I'm Josh.
And welcome to the only show where we say sell, fuck.
And that last word, because I forgot that we did one of those at the start. It's been too long, Will.
Been a while.
It's been too long since we've done these things.
It's insane that both of us still use that as a crutch. Oh, I forgot. It's the one thing that we do. It's one thing that, everything about this podcast changes and gets worse or better. But the one thing that's consistent is that we have a bit at the start. And I'm throwing that at me as well, because I always use it as, I'm like, oh, I forgot. It's like, no, we fucking shouldn't. It's a big part of this podcast that we decided together when we were in a place.
Totally. 100%.
But we always forget. But that's okay. We also haven't done these in a while. It's true.
It's been a bit. Yeah. I think the last... I spoke to you for the first time kind of in person over digitally.
Yeah.
At the Nintendo Direct reaction stream that we did. And then I haven't really spoken to you much since you were in Melbourne, 3 weeks ago or something.
The world moves fast.
It does. There's a lot happening. We do briefly talk. We do talk.
Yeah.
But
we don't really catch up.
Kind of also hasn't been that much going on in the world. You've been super busy, so you haven't been able to stream and do some of these things. There's just a lot of life to happen.
It's so much
and to do.
And I was saying to you, it's life in a very adult sense. It's not life that we're about to talk about in a catch-up sense of these things happen. It's just, no, we're just living.
Yeah. It's just standard stuff. I picked up our wedding rings this week. That's a very adult thing to do in a week.
I mean, that's an event.
Crazy.
That's worthy of mentioning.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. But it's it's not it's a fun thing, but it's not I went and did this thing and it was crazy and it was a new experience. It was a new experience, but it's
you just
hopefully one I'll never have to do again, you know?
It's a lovely thing to say, but it was so aggressive.
Yeah. Never want to do that again.
Fucking weddings. Oh, I'm already over them.
Totally.
The one thing that I did that was exciting was last weekend was Supernova.
Nice.
Where I got to hurt my body for 6 hours straight, basically.
Yeah, I was like, man, that is going to be a wet man inside that suit. Very, very wet man.
And just sore. And also, the weirdest thing was the amount of phantom limb afterwards, because I went and had dinner with Liam with Avexia, and I was just sitting there and the whole time adjusting my shoulders. But there was nothing there. Totally. I was like,
I get it.
It was very weird. Yeah, you'd have it with skateboard stuff, right?
Well, yeah, kind of that. More so when I had a mop of hair.
Yeah.
And then I cut it all off.
Yeah.
And I would just instinctively flick my hair to try and get it out of my face, even though it was't there.
Yeah.
It became just a reflex that I did at all times for some reason. And when I cut my hair down to this from it, being a mop and being over my face, it's I very much remember that.
I'm ready for that. I'm ready for that at some point in the future.
Yeah,
I'll be doing the same thing.
I got a haircut last week and I still used the same amount of shampoo earlier this week to wash my hair. I'm I don't need that much anymore. It wasn't a mop, but it was significantly longer.
Yeah.
But I'm I need 1.5 pumps of that. I don't need 2 or 3 anymore.
It's just sitting in your head.
Yeah, there's just way too much. It's so lathered.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Obviously the thing that I was holding on to as a secret purchase was my Mandalorian costume. My full Din Djarin costume.
One of my guesses.
Yeah.
I guessed that or a Spider-Man. We've talked about the proper Spider-Man outfits.
Yeah.
With proper glass things and a sole on the foot.
Yeah. Sadly
so
not.
Cool.
Sadly not. I
glass eye holes for podcast listeners.
Yeah.
I was
the things on
indicating the glass things.
Yeah.
Not helpful for people listening audio only.
His glasses. Yeah, and I mean, look, this one gets to hide your body, so it's easier to wear. And it wasn't actually that bad. It came together really well. I've put it on myself a few times, and it's always okay. But I had Zara, I had Liam and his partner there, and having them to help was like, I looked in my car's reflection, I'm like, oh, it looks good now. Having 3 hands, it's like, okay, this is how it's supposed to look.
Nice.
And it was so good. So many photos. And like, I don't big head myself. There's another part to the story that sounds like I do. But I was like looking at the other ones, I'm like, nah. And they were good. Yeah. And I'm sure like previous years I would have been like, holy shit, that's a Mandalorian costume. But there's just little things. They didn't put their $600 Grogu figure slapped to their lap, and I think that really genuinely is because like people would vaguely look, but they really are like, oh my god, it's Grogu, and I'm like, really? I didn't do anything.
That's the thing you notice.
Yeah.
Well, cool. last time you took a little couple of $100 toy with you.
Yeah,
it just disappeared.
Groot fell off.
Rip to Groot.
Yeah, rip to Groot. I still hope it was a child that found it and not like a 40-year-old man.
Yeah,
but
the odds are stacked against us in that.
Yeah.
Right, respect. But one can hope.
But it was cool. Yeah, lots of photos, lots of cool stuff. It was really cool, like going to like the Star Wars fan community kind of area where they have all the like people that put effort into things, and the guys there are like, yours is the best one. I'm like, wow. I respect you people.
yeah, so that's sick.
That was cool. And yeah, really, really fun. And I'm like 99% sure that I may drive down to Melbourne for PAX just to wear it for a couple of hours. Although I wore it the entire day on Saturday. Like I was going to do a couple of hours, but I did like 10 till 4, and it was fine. Like it really was fine, which was cool. Apart from that one sweaty photo. Although I was kind of fine.
But you got to mimic the man himself.
Yeah.
So good.
It's a tick box. Like I don't need another costume. I'm just gonna work on that one forever now and just make it better and cooler. But the second day I went back and was chilling with Sam at his booth. Superman Sam is not what he's fucking. What's his thing?
Sam Studios.
Sam Studios. Yeah. I was chilling at his, and a guy I came across that had bought a Superman and Lois art that got signed by Superman and Lois, who are also there. And he was like, went up to Sam and was like, oh my god, I'm such a fan, I'm so excited. Like your stuff's so cool. And I was just kind of sitting there listening because I love like interactions like that. They're always really lovely.
That's why I love being with you when people recognize you. I'm like, yes.
So
good. It's so cool.
And then the guy goes, oh, and like, because I've been following you for a while, like, didn't you used to do like a Doctor Who thing? And Sam just goes, oh, I think you mean him. And the guy looked at me and he's like, and this is, I hate this so much. I gave the guy shit. He was like, Will loves Karen. And I'm like, dude, there's no fucking way that you said that. And he's like, oh, I mean the Doctor Who. I'm like, oh, fuck you.
That's so good. He's an OG, man.
Yeah, I changed that in like 2013.
Damn, that's awesome.
That was
that's
very
hilarious.
Cool. He was very excited and he was like, oh, when are you going to do stuff again? But I'm like, oh my God, cool. All right. And I was already, I'm like, I am considering, like, you know, when Doctor Who's back, I'll put stuff over there. So he was very excited. And I was like, do you like games? And he's like, I know about Back Pocket. I'm like, okay, it's my job. I just have to.
Just gotta check.
I gotta check, man. But yeah,
for sure.
It was very cool and very weird to hear someone address me as that.
Yeah, totally. It's been a while.
I forgot. I thought I deleted that from existence. But I'm pretty sure if you still type in youtube.com/Will Loves Karen, it'll take you there because of the YouTube algorithm or whatever. Yeah,
the internet never forgets.
No, never.
Crazy.
Be careful on the internet, kids.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, that's great. Speaking of Back Pocket, it got a shout out on Thumb Cramps. Ruby was on.
Yep.
And she announced her departure from Kotaku.
Yep.
And that this is now her full-time job, and she talked about it.
Yeah,
she teased some things.
There's things to be teased
in discussions, and and sort of mentioned like, oh, maybe you'll see these guys in the future things.
Yeah, maybe.
So we'll see how that goes. But
it's very cool.
It's cool.
It's cool to have Ruby.
Very cool. Yeah. Oh man, she's an enigma.
She's very fun.
Such a. There is only one.
Yeah. If you watch me on the show, I always, like, I was sitting next to her on the show on last week's episode, and I'm just kind of, anytime they start talking, I'm like, I don't know if I'm ready to laugh or be, like, interested in the fact you're giving. And it happened so much in last week's episode. I was like, I was like, this went to a fact.
You never know where it's going to go. Like, she could just drop some, like, info on you because she seems to know everything about the things that she's interested in.
Or she'll tell you that Final Fantasy has Cloud having a baby.
Yeah. Yeah, just something super bizarre, and you're like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. She's phenomenal. So ridiculous. Nice. Very good.
What have you been
catch up? Yeah. I picked up wedding rings. That was the thing that happened this week. It was kind of cool. 2.5 months until the wedding.
Crazy.
That's ridiculous. That's so strange.
What's on the checklist?
We just have to finish off RSVPs. That's kind of what we're waiting for at the moment. On the way to get the rings, which was definitely like a big thing on the checklist, we actually got confirmation for the person that's going to be officiating the wedding and actually marrying us. Great. We went through 5 people. 5 freaking people to find someone. So on the drive there, we were, I was in the middle of a story, and she's like, sorry, I'm just going to have to interrupt. I'm pretty sure we just got a yes.
Good.
Awesome. So that person's going on holidays today for 2 weeks or something. So we'll talk to them again in 2 weeks' time and get that ball rolling. But it's good. It's all sweet. But yeah, we're sort of at a bit of a standstill until we get the RSVPs in. Which is when we then go back to the venue. We give them the numbers. We start working out logistical things, and then we eat a bunch of food and choose what everyone else is going to eat, which will be delicious. It's going to be, I assume we'll eat like a bunch of various things, like small portions of various things, but we will be choosing probably the most accessible food, like a chicken and steak. Like that'll be what everyone's eating.
That's probably fine. No one wants fancy shit at a wedding.
No,
they really don't.
And and it's like there's so many people. You've got to cater to people that like can't eat seafood, so we can't have fish. There's a lot of people that don't like pork. Like pork for some reason is a weird one that I've never understood, but some people just straight up some people just straight up hate pork.
Wow.
So yeah, you need to go for like a chicken and a steak. It was something like super generic, and then you've got all the people with like that are vegetarians or vegans, so they've got special meals and things, and you have to sort all of that stuff out. Just give them a salad. So there's going to be a bit to do after we get the RSVPs, but that's not for like another month or so. So we're sort of just chilling,
holding pattern,
just making sure everything's fine. I keep touching my palms with my very cold fingertips because I just went skateboarding this morning, and I took 2 very hard slams. I was about to say towards the end of the sesh. And it was, but that was the reason that it was the end of the sesh. I was not skating anymore after that. My mate that I was skating with was like, all right, we're going to just stick to flat ground now, no more obstacles. And I'm like, nah, I can't. I'm not doing flat ground now.
I'll stick to flat ground with no wheels.
Yes, I will sit on it and you can do some. So I did. But man, just absolutely crushed. I just destroyed. I don't have that skate park back there anymore. I was gonna try and describe what happened. I did to you earlier anyway, but there's an obstacle that's kind of like just straight up, like they're called banks, so they're completely straight, as opposed to a ramp which is curved. Bank is just straight up, and you've got 2 banks that meet at a 90-degree angle, and there's kind of a seam.
St. George and Westpac just hitting. Right next to each other.
That's it. And so you go like up one, and then you sort of turn about 90-degree angle over the seam of where these 2 meet. And yeah, I'm learning to do stuff over that. And I was going against wind at one point. This is the second fall of the day at 9 a.m. at 10 degrees. So I'm very cold and stiff at this stage. Over the seam, my back trucks just didn't make it, which means the board just stopped completely. But my momentum was going forward and down. down the other side of the bank. So I just slam down, knee straight into the concrete. I have 2 knee bumps now. Mm-hmm. One is my actual knee. One is a new knee. And yeah, I was icing it just before this pod. I am very sore. Walking up 3 flights of stairs to get to my apartment was unpleasant.
Yeah, I bet.
It took me so long.
Was there at least a nice smell?
No, never. There never is in that freaking thing. There's a guy downstairs. My little, we'll set this up. There's a guy in my middle level apartment, and he just seems to cook Chinese food with probably a lot of SMG and just smokes all the time. So you get both of those smells in the stairwell at all times. Thankfully, my apartment is then also cut off by another door in a separate hallway. So there's individual apartments. There's one apartment on each floor in the stairwell. I'm wondering whether they get a bit of a stench coming through. But I'm in a separate section.
You're fine.
Which is cut off, and it doesn't smell bad. It's very nice and isolated. There's only one other apartment, so you don't get like a lot of foot traffic through there either, which is nice. There's not just constantly people from multiple apartments walking through. It's only ever like 1 or 2 people at a time.
I think you should knock on his door with a bag of beers and like a bag of like strawberry vapes, and be like, "Let's hang," and just get him off the cigs. So at least it's like a
nice smell. Yeah,
there's a nice waft.
You get the Chinese SMG like Asian food smell.
Yeah,
plus some like strawberry watermelon vape or something. Nice.
Yeah,
be nice.
Bit of a mix.
You're doing him a favor, really, as well.
I think he'll die a little bit less.
A little, slower,
and fruitier.
Speaking of fruity,
let's head to the news. Famously fruity segment. It's not my first piece of news, but we should briefly talk about it as people of culture. Big event that's happened over the past week that has taken a long time to come to fruition and end, and we finally have the confirmation that Fantails are no longer with us.
Sad time.
They ended up at the bottom of the ocean.
That's right. And stuck near the Titanic.
Never be back. Yeah. It's fucked. It is fucked.
Yeah, both situations are on different levels.
Yeah. But the Fantails thing is wrong.
It's
ethically wrong. I don't get it. Mm-hmm. I don't get it. It's also because I thought Fantails would at least exist in a favorite situation, but they don't. They exist in $2 charity boxes. That's where they exist in tandem. So there's no other place they'll be. They don't have.
So they're still in the thing?
No, that's the thing. I was like, it's okay. They're going to remove the big package, but they'll still be somewhere. But the only place that they exist with other things are in charity boxes, and then I assume they won't be in there because they're just going to stop making them.
Not for very long. Damn. Yeah. Okay.
Wrong.
Because they used to. I don't know if Fantails were, but they did used to have the wrapped candies for a while, in a pack. So you get I forget what they're called. They used to be called Redskins, but they're called something else now.
Yep. Milk chews.
You got milk chews and Minties or something. Yeah. Sherbies, that's right. So you get those. You would think maybe they could do a package of those.
Keep them there. Yeah.
No. But alas, they're gone. I haven't had one for a long time. So maybe just everyone hadn't had one for a long time and they just weren't seeing the fruits of it. There you go. We made it fit.
No fruits.
But dumb. It's a sad time. I do want to try and get some. I feel like they're probably all bought up now.
I bought $200 worth of and I think it would have been 20 kilograms of Fantails, and they refunded it within the day because obviously they had actually sold out. But
right, you bought online. Right. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
But if I see them, they're coming. I'm like, do I drive up to the mountains or something? Just somewhere where it's a small town. Some servos along the way or something. But I need them.
Rough.
Terrible.
Yeah, totally. It sucks.
I wonder how long they've been planning it though, because it's not like they've updated the trivia since 2006. So it's
yeah.
Have you just given up a long time ago? It's weird.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
There you go. There's a piece of news for you.
Absolutely. But someone who, well, a company that hasn't given up on their game is, what are they called? Guerrilla. I didn't write them down. Because they're still doing updates for Horizon Forbidden West.
Yep.
And a lovely little update that released this week, I believe, is a tribute to Lance Reddick. Directly him as well, not Silence, but Lance Reddick himself. He appears in the game now. His name appears. So for anyone who doesn't know, Lance Reddick, who plays does the voice of Silence, who's one of the main characters of the Horizon Zero Dawn series. He's also a big character in Destiny 2 and
the Resident Evil
Netflix series that Will and I
we adore.
Quite enjoyed.
Yeah.
He was definitely the best part of it.
Yeah.
Passed away a couple of months back. And in the Horizon games, he plays Silence, who is a mysterious character fascinated by the technology of the old ones, which is our generation, our like race. And then if you play the games, you'll understand. But they're like far in the future, but weirdly primal again. And he's a very like hardened man who doesn't care about anyone else but his own progression of knowledge and information and stuff. So Lance passed away in March 2023, only a month before the Burning Shores DLC was to be released. And he doesn't play a big role in it, but he's what leads you to it. So you'll just be in the world if you buy it. Like wherever you are, you'll just get a call from Silence. And when you answer, he's basically like, meet me here. I've got some information for you. So you go talk to him and then he sends you off into the DLC. He was a big part of launching that DLC. And the latest Horizon Forbidden West update 1.26 adds a memorial to Lance on one of the islands that she travels to in the Burning Shores. So there's a holographic light that rises up from the floor with his name, just Lance Reddick. Just sort of, glowing and all hologrammy. And it's the island where Aloy meets Seika, who's the main other character of the DLC. It's the first island you go to on the Burning Shores. And if you struggle to find it, it's glowing a lot. So you can find it at night. It's much easier to see at night. But very nice. It's nice to see these, big games and big companies doing that, because I know Destiny did a memorial to his character. I believe, was it his character or was it him in the game?
I think it was his character. It was his character is somewhere in the game, and people went and like bowed before the character. They probably have done something since, but I remember.
I thought there was I thought they like put a statue, a sort of shrine or something somewhere in there.
That makes sense.
Perhaps that, but it's really cool to see them, immortalized in these super popular games. In this way, and just to show that respect for the character that they played in these things, like huge, really, really pivotal characters, and just an unmistakable voice. Like they will not find another Lance Reddick that sounds anywhere near as close. So be intrigued to see how they approach Horizon going forward.
I like that this was like a real world tribute, not a character tribute, because then that means they can do something with the character in the game, the next game. It's not like we shoveled him off here so that we don't have to deal with the real world thing in the next game. So hopefully, it'll be interesting to see. It's cool. Just a shame that you need to have a PlayStation 5 to send your condolences to Lance Reddick.
True. I didn't think of that. Yeah, the DLC is only PS5.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm surprised they didn't put it in the actual game.
Yeah, true.
DLC, but
that's very true. Yeah.
Strange.
I'm sure it'll be in the PC version when that eventually comes out.
Totally. Yeah.
I'm
going to flip my news because this one makes sense to go afterwards. Nice. It belongs in an Xbox is my lead line.
Ooh, nice.
Let's start in a really interesting place, though. A courtroom.
Oh,
dong dong. The US Federal Trade Commission is reportedly getting ready to file an injunction, listen to all these words, with the aim of blocking, and we've been talking about this for a long time, Microsoft's pending $68.7 billion Activision Blizzard acquisition. So they're still getting blocked for grabbing that. The FTC are like, you just can't, though. Like, you just can't do that.
It's a monopoly. That will... Yeah. It's going to put everything out of whack.
It's kind of fine to grab the little ones, Microsoft, but, like, come on. Let's not.
Like, Blizzard Activision is everyone else.
Yeah.
Like, it's anyone that Sony doesn't currently have.
It's that, and Ubisoft is the only, like, extra people.
The only ones left, for sure.
As part of the ongoing thing, Bethesda's head of global publishing, Pete Hines, our mate, Pete Hines, confirmed that Machine Games' Indiana Jones, first off, I like that it's still in development because I kind of assumed that it died. But he confirmed, and we all kind of knew this, that it will be exclusive to Xbox and PC, and that it'll be available Game Pass day one. It makes sense because it's within the whole, we bought Bethesda, everything will come to Game Pass and Xbox and all that.
Yeah, for sure.
The interesting part, I mean, that was a piece of information we didn't know, so technically that's interesting. The interesting part that came during the same witness testimony, that the FTC counsel revealed that Disney previously had a multi-platform deal for the game, and it was amended post-buying Bethesda. So until Microsoft bought Bethesda, it would be on everything. It'd be on PlayStation as well as Xbox and PC, which I find very interesting and very sad, because I don't love things being locked to consoles that much.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, up until now, I've been kind of like, Microsoft's the good guy compared to Sony. Like, you know, they're kind of softer and nicer about the console war. What's Big Boy? Phil Spencer is out there being like, we love everyone. I'll turn up at Nintendo's briefing. And then I read that, I'm like, that's a bit dirty.
Yeah.
I don't love that. Pete Hines said that Bethesda was thinking along the lines of reducing risk and trying to get a degree of certainty in just bringing it to Xbox and PC.
Where do you study a degree of certainty?
I don't know. You just have to be very faithful.
There you go. Yeah, I haven't heard of that course before. Just that's
the degree of certainty.
Yeah,
it's a degree run by Dr. Seuss because it's all about rhyming. Degree of certainty.
Degree of certainty.
That's kind of the big things. The other thing is that Sony also is unsurprisingly running against Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard, which Jim Ryan, big boy, claimed that Activision could be left out of the PlayStation 6 loop should the deal go through, because they could not run the risk of another company, which is their direct competitor, having access to details about their next console. So basically, Call of Duty, which is supposed to be on everything for the next 6 years, if the deal goes through, Sony would be like, nah, fuck that deal. We don't even want Call of Duty because we don't want Xbox knowing what we're doing. Yeah. Which is wild.
That's crazy. That's like, it's fair enough at the same time too, because Microsoft will just have the new PlayStations lying around. Like in their offices. That's crazy.
So
far
it's a wild, wild thing. Like,
huge.
I clicked on this link because I've been seeing like pop culture sites being like, I can't believe Indiana Jones is Xbox exclusive. I'm like, it's always you fucking idiot. Why are you reacting to this like it's new? Yeah. But then I saw the rest of that news and I'm like, that's pretty interesting. If this deal goes through, it's going to change the gaming landscape. And also, $68.7 billion? You have that lying around,
That's
Phil?
crazy. Like,
all your games have done terribly in the past, 6 years.
Go build a great submarine.
Yeah, totally.
You could, easily. Man.
That'd be pretty good. No, they're too busy making their consoles black.
Amazing.
Congrats, guys.
It is crazy. Like, gaming soon, except for indies probably, will likely be just exclusives.
Yeah.
If you want to play all games, you will need to have all consoles. Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft will all have exclusive stuff.
And even the indies, though, PlayStation, Sony, and Microsoft are buying up indie studios.
Yes.
So even they're falling to exclusivity.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Weird time we're heading into.
It's crazy. Well, speaking of Nintendo, kind of.
Nice.
I did briefly.
Yeah.
We joked on Wednesday night, Thursday morning at the Nintendo Direct, and specifically during the Metal Gear Solid Collection Volume 1 segment. We were like, what are they going to put in Volume 2? Like Metal Gear Solid 4
game.
and that's it? They've got one left. I had actually forgotten that the latest one was Metal Gear Solid 5. That was that was my
You forgot that? Yeah.
famously phenomenal memory failing me for the first time.
It's all right. It was a phantom pain, so you just forgot it.
That's
was a
right.
Ghost.
That's right. Yeah.
It's a ghost in the mind.
Ghost protocol. That's not it. But according to a new leak on Konami's own website, they leaked their own information. The unannounced Metal Gear Solid Collection Volume 2 will consist of Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots, Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, and Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain. So
How's that going to run on that console?
I don't know. Maybe streamed.
Yeah, it has to
maybe
be cloud,
some of the later ones will be streamed. I don't know. Or
that's a good looking game.
Or because I think Volume 1 isn't released until October, so they could put that out. Wait a year, before announcing the next one along with a new console.
Yeah,
that will run the new ones. So Volume 2 will come out on the new console.
They have to be close, right? Perhaps. They have to be close to a new console.
Totally. It's been 6, close to 7 years now. 2017.
Yeah. They have to be close.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. That's so what also, how does that leak on your own website, you idiots?
I know, yeah, it's crazy. It's so bad. But I was thinking with the list that's there, leading into, it's the Metal Gear Solid collection. I was like, man, it would be cool if they could also include Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes, that like little prequel game.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Just to connect it on, because it's connected to Metal Gear Solid 5. Like you would think
and it's the collection.
Yeah, exactly. But as I was reading on with the article that I was looking at, apparently the Volume 1 actually has an extra 2 games on top of the other ones. Like Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3. Apparently, it's also got Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake. So it's actually got 5 games on it.
Yep.
Which means Volume 2 could come with bonus games that aren't the mainline ones. So it could have Ground Zeroes. Some of the other ones, just off the top of my head, as a huge Metal Gear Solid fan, absolutely, would be Metal Gear Acid or Metal Gear Solid Portable Ops. Or the non-canon Snake's Revenge or Metal Gear Ghost Babel.
Oh,
just
I
totally
remember those so fondly.
Yeah, totally, just off the top of my head. So
I love playing that on the Vita.
You would assume so. Portable Ops, maybe at least.
Yeah, cool.
So so those leaked. We'll see them soon. It's very cool. Like there are a bunch of game series that I've always wanted to play. And we just keep going so beyond beyond these games that they're just not really accessible except through emulation, which I know is easy, but I don't sit at my computer to play games like ever. So the fact that these are coming out on consoles now and they are re-releasing them, I don't care that they have no new things. Like for old games that are getting a re-release so that people can experience them again, I'm okay with that. I know we discussed at the Direct, we're like, like do something with it or whatever. But in terms of like the oldest games that are inaccessible, especially Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3,
they're very locked to console.
They're pretty much locked to like PS2 or whatever or earlier. It is funny that they're also releasing Metal Gear Solid 5 like later, because those are still very accessible and very playable already. But I'm stoked that there's a bunch of games getting this re-release. The fact that like Final Fantasy is coming back out with all these things, like that is another series that I've wanted to play. I don't know why, but it's just been up there. So like, there was a collection, I think, of the first few Final Fantasies, like just porting to Switch and stuff. They're redoing 7. And then in listening to a podcast this week, last week, sorry.
Yep.
They were discussing the Final Fantasy VII remake. Mm-hmm. And that game references the Final Fantasy VII original.
Yeah, right. As a separate thing.
Yeah, because it's like almost an alt reality version because they've changed a whole bunch of stuff in the remake.
Yeah.
And so it's like those events did happen almost in an alt reality. So now I want to play the original and then go back.
You're an idiot.
And play the remake. Like,
you can't even play games that come out now.
I know. I know. I'm still getting through Zelda. Still playing that every day, but man, it's too much.
Insane. There's a lot of things.
It's too much.
Well,
frustrating.
What would be helpful maybe is if you could lose the ability to watch or play things forever. Like if they just were unable to be accessed forever,
I guess
that would probably help you.
I guess I just give up.
Yeah, you're like, well, I can't do that ever again. Yeah. Stuff like, Final Space, stuff like Westworld. We're back on Warner Bros. Discovery as they're doing another strange thing. As I've written here, Warner Bros. Discovery continues to be a crazy motherfucker this year.
Nice.
Earlier, of course, they pulled a bunch of stuff from Max, formerly titled A Good Name, like HBO Max. Now it is just called Max.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Weird. With those licenses intending to be sold off to third-party vendors. So technically Final Space could end up somewhere if, similar kind of situation with Netflix and stuff. It's like, if someone wants it, it's that they get rid of a lot of these licenses purely to make money. That's why they're killing them, because they're like, well, we can sell them. So, your thing might end up somewhere, as I've written here, hey, Netflix, you want Westworld? It could happen. That's kind of
typical.
What the future is. But the new thing via Variety is that the dumbest man in the world, David Zaslav, the CEO of Warner Bros. Discovery, is leading negotiations to sell more of the company's iconic assets, this time focusing on music from movies and TV. So music that is Warner Bros. Own that's been featured in film and TV. Which means you could buy music from Purple Rain, from Sweeney Todd, from Rent, from the Batman movies, even as time goes by, from Casablanca. All of those songs are up for auction.
Oh, you could purchase the rights to them.
Yes.
Holy crap, that's insane.
To Purple Rain.
That's
wild.
Awful.
It's currently...
I don't know if I like that.
Yeah, no, it's weird. An anonymous source is saying it's about slightly less than half of the music that they own the rights to, and that they're only looking for the crisp sum, if you wanted to buy all of it, of $500 million, which actually isn't that much.
Microsoft.
Yeah.
Go grab it. You've got billions lying around.
Yeah. You could just put Tim Burton's Batman music in every game you make for free if you bought these.
Freaking heck. Do it.
Easy. Sources are also saying, though, that because a lot of these assets are already half a century old, they're declining in value, and so the idea of buying them would be a bit silly. There wouldn't be much of a profit to gain, even on something like As Time Goes By. It's like, you buy it, and then you just have it. Like, you're not getting money off Casablanca anymore.
Yeah.
Although, apparently, Sony is eyeing for the deal, so Sony might be buying the Batman music. It's weird. They don't own the films; they just own the music. I don't understand.
That's crazy. Well, that's Sony like that's like seeing. Oh, what was it? It was like, who was it? Was it Warner Brothers turning up, like Warner Brothers logo turning up at the end of like a Marvel movie or something?
It was something like I know exactly what you're thinking of.
Yeah, there was some theme that was somewhere very briefly.
In my mind, it's the other way around, and it's in the Lego Batman movie somewhere. Something like that.
It was a Batman 66 thing turned up somewhere.
Yes.
Really weird.
Yes, that's right. Oh, it was at the end of Wreck-It Ralph 2.
Was it?
It was at the end of Wreck-It Ralph 2. Yeah.
I was going to jump to Rescue Rangers.
No, yeah.
Oh, maybe. But that could have had some weird crossovers. Where there was
Batman. All right. I'm not going to find it. I don't know why Wreck-It Ralph 2 is the one I thought of.
Yeah. For some reason, I'm thinking, I feel like it was Rescue Rangers. Because that just had a bunch of random stuff that we were like, that shouldn't be in here.
You shouldn't be allowed. I mean, that's a good example of that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, possibly Sony buying these things. The last fact that I don't think I actually knew is that Warner Brothers' debt, which of course is the reason they're selling a lot of things, the reason they did a lot of tax write-offs. What do you reckon that number sits at?
Warner Brothers' debt?
Yeah.
They're selling a thing for $500 million, which doesn't seem like a lot, especially considering the amount that another company is being purchased for.
Yeah, it's true. Wait.
I hate guessing because I'm afraid that I'll guess over and it'll be
underwhelming.
I'll say if they're only selling something for $500 million, I'm going to say $1 billion.
$49.5 billion.
Okay, I was hesitant to say $5 billion.
Yeah, that 49. Almost $50 billion in debt. So that's why when the Flash movie doesn't even make half of its budget, they're kind of not looking.
It hasn't done half.
It's made, I think, $200 million. The budget itself was like 300, and then you've obviously got double that for marketing. It's not going well for Warner.
Holy crap.
I genuinely don't think James Gunn's going to make a single film. Like, I picture in like 5 years that Warner Brothers is just going to sell the DC IP somewhere else because, like, it's falling apart, man. Wild times. Wild times for games and movies.
Yeah. That's freaking crazy.
But that's also the news, I believe.
All of them.
That's all the news that there is. Fantails. Miss ya.
Fruit.
Welcome to the ad read. There's still no ads to read. Welcome to Cues from News. This is where you submit cues from yours.
Submit.
We'll do the rest from Russia.
It's submit. That did not sound Russian. It sounded Scottish.
Come on. Why don't you submit your cues from yours? Get in the form and submit your cues.
My God.
Come on. Submit your cues. Submit them.
So intense.
It's J.K. Simmons as Jay Jonas.
As a Scottish man.
Yeah. Spider-Man. All right, that's Cues from News. If you want to submit Cues from News, head to the Google form, which you can find in the Discord.
Like you said, that's Cues from News. Like, we're done.
We're done.
That's it.
That's enough energy. Cues. You got a cue? There's a lot in there.
I'm gonna go. Dion from Another Dimension asks, "Have we reached the point of oversaturation of movies about multiverses and multiple dimensions?" Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we have. I'm very keen for just straightforward movies again, just one-offs.
Yeah.
What was so good about like every individual Spider-Man film that they've had in the MCU has just been an individual story, aspects of like, you know, the wider world that they've built, but not that much. They're contained little stories, and that's it. I know I say that as, you know, the final film was a Spider-Verse film.
Yeah.
But it's still just a tight little film that isn't like, you know, all this other crap is blah, blah, blah.
Well, it's also, like, as much as it is a multiverse film, it's not about, like, oh, the multiverse is breaking and it's hard to... It's like, it's just they're there.
Yeah.
Like, it's a reason that there is a lot of Spider-Man, but it's not... I mean, I guess... despite the ending of that movie. But
yeah, but the idea, like, it's still good guys versus bad guys in just a very exclusive story.
It's as much a multiverse movie as Back to the Future is, I guess.
Yeah.
Like that kind of, in the same realm, Spider-Verse kind of feels a little bit like that.
Yeah, it's just a few of them sometimes crossing paths. Films are too complicated now. I'm over it. Just stop. Just be chill, guys.
Yeah.
Be chill.
What an answer to, do you think there's too many multiverse and just be chill.
Just be chill, man.
I'm so there. Like, I loved Spider-Verse, but I don't think I've loved a single other one. Like, I loved No Way Home. for the spectacle. But even that isn't a multiverse movie. Like, it's mainly we're shitting on the Flash and Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
Where those films have no substance because they're like, whoa, things. It's like, okay, move on, buddy.
Yeah.
And I just, and it's like, they're bad but not horrible, but it's the idea that Hollywood is taking that and being like, that's what people want now. And I feel like if we don't end it now, it's gonna become the superhero genre where we're like, I don't really want to watch any of this because there's too much of it. So I just won't. I'm tired of it.
There's just too many levels, because like everyone's trying to build a universe. So all these multiverse movies are part of like a wider thing. There's just like, every movie is going to affect every other movie. I'm just like,
don't care.
Just calm.
I want to be able to watch it without watching anything else.
Yeah.
I just miss that. I just miss that.
I just want to watch a film and be done with it. It's fine.
Yep.
Renfield. More Renfields, please.
Yep. Good fun. Good fun movie.
Just a one-off. Don't need any other information.
Love it. Just be chill.
Chill.
BMAC. Video games are often considered to lesser storytellers, but what game do you think has broken through that stigma? Considered to be, I think. Like, they're often considered to be lesser in terms of story and narrative.
Yeah.
That's a good question. But what ones do you think have broken through that stigma?
I would say The Last of Us.
Yeah, but is it? Because it's like, it's very good, but is it better than any other, like, post-apocalyptic thing?
I think it's just... Maybe not.
Like, it's tricky.
Yeah.
Because, like, I think it's true that it broke through, like, I guess the stigma of shit stories.
Yeah, I think that's just what I mean. Like, it's an interesting, like, it's the most interesting, well-done version of that to a point where they made one of the best video game adaptations of a thing.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, they managed
story
to
was
take
there.
a story that was originally from a video game, apparently famously lesser story, into... a
That's
TV
true.
show that was very, very highly regarded. So in that way, in the transition between the two, I feel like that potentially has. Maybe that's the easy go-to though.
It's kind of the only one though.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think, like, in terms of storytelling, what other ones are big enough that they've broken through a stigma into the world of non-gamers.
Yeah.
Like, that's sort of what we're... I feel like that's what we're looking for. Like, what...
I think it's...
games...
Red Dead 2 was also a big one. Like, it's definitely less focused storytelling, but I know a lot of people fell in love with the characters, and people that I know that don't really game and don't really spend hours with a video game fell in love with that world as well.
Yes.
So probably Red Dead 2 was a pretty big deal for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I think the story is cool. And like, the story is huge, and I, as much as I really didn't enjoy the game, I think it is actually one of the best, like, world-building ones, especially the fact that it came from Rockstar, who, like, GTA doesn't have a fucking story. Like, stuff happens, whereas there's all those lovely little isolated vignettes of storytelling throughout Red Dead 2. So probably Red Dead 2 is up there as well.
Yeah, fair. Yeah. Nice.
Maybe I'll go back and finish. I was in the epilogue in hospital, and I just didn't finish that.
Yeah, right.
I finished the game, and then it booted up again in the epilogue, and I was like, no, I'm in pain.
Yeah. You can get through that. I think in a session, it's only a couple of hours, maybe. Like, it's a long epilogue, but it's you can get through it relatively harmlessly. And it's like, there's not a whole lot. It's pretty...
It's just walk around.
Yeah, it's like a wind down. It's funny that you're going to play it years after.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to go into a game that... Yeah, I guess. Yeah, just a real
That's my
chill,
kind of game.
Yeah. You're going to go around a farm and, like, fix a fence. I think that's one of the things that you do.
Oh, man.
Ow, I just bent my knee in a bad way. Sorry?
God, you're a mess today.
Yeah, I'm wrecked. Ruined.
I think that's a good answers. I can't think of anything else. Like, you've got indies that you've played. I mean, To the Moon. Yeah. I know it hasn't broken through it, but in terms of breaking the stigma of lesser storytelling in video games,
Yeah.
I mean, you got affected by that
Absolutely.
6 times?
Yes, pretty much. Yeah, just absolutely. Yeah, phenomenal, beautiful story. It's funny though, like even in terms of like just video games breaking through into the mainstream, into people that are not gamers playing. During COVID, you had Animal Crossing breaking in, and just all these people suddenly becoming gamers, like buying Switches, and there's a lot of people still playing games now because of Animal Crossing, because they were stuck at home doing nothing else.
And they told their own stories.
Yeah, so that's an interesting kind of look at how video games have broken into the mainstream, and everyone is hyper aware of them now, like a lot more so than they were pre-COVID.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Video games, man.
It's crazy.
Maybe we should keep this podcast short.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 is enough.
We can do 2. We haven't wrecked stuff for a while, so we might have a wreck list to go through.
Let's go. Shall we wreck things?
Let's wreck some stuff.
I'm gonna. Oh no, I was gonna do it differently this week. Let's do it differently. Ready? Let's see what happens. Wreck. Only for the visuals.
Nice. Just a little bit blurry the whole way. That's great.
There you go, everyone. Welcome to the Wreck Seg. We wreck things here. I'm gonna wreck it. Famously in this film, the Batman 96 theme played. Maybe. We still don't know.
Who knows?
What have you got for us, Josh?
What have I got? So last night, a few weeks ago, I mentioned that I had started watching Death Note, and last night we finished it.
Nice.
Very good show. Really, really good. There was a few parts where we had to like pause and discuss the logic that they had just discussed, because it's like constantly 2 people trying to outthink each other.
Yes. I remember you saying,
like one person's the bad guy, the other person's, the good guy trying to catch the bad guy.
Yep.
No one knows for sure that the bad guy is the bad guy.
Yep.
So the good guy is always trying to catch out the bad guy, but the bad guy is always trying to anticipate the actions and the thought processes of the good guy to counteract it. Mm-hmm. So it gets super messy. Like they do it really, really well. It's fascinating. Yeah. But yeah, other than that complexity and having to like sit down and discuss it with someone else to be like, where is this thing now, and who's this, and why does this person not know this? Other than that, and like a bit of a weird second act, I guess. Where everything just changes. It feels like the whole writing team just shifted over to be someone else. It was very weird. The show was sick. It was very, very good. And when we finished it, Max is like, I've watched a lot of animes and that's the best one. So now I'm like, it's all downhill from here if I keep watching anime. Everything else is going to suck. So we'll see. I'm sure after that I'll get a whole bunch of recommendations from people.
Watch One Piece.
Oh man, so much One Piece, I'm sure. I think because this is it's Death Note is 37 or 38 episodes and they're 22 minutes each. It's like you can get through them all pretty rapidly. Like, you get through 6 episodes in a couple of hours.
It's easy to watch a cartoon.
Yeah,
you just leave it on.
Except when it's all subtitles and you can't not watch.
Right.
So it's just full focus on it,
full attention.
It was very good though, very, very fun. Really, really cool. Enjoyed it muchly. I would like to, I don't know, maybe people that are listening to this can tell me how much it differs from the manga, because it was originally a manga. Is it the same all the way through? Do they get to a point and then veer off, or what? I don't know how long the manga is. But I saw like a volume 1 sort of thing where it was like maybe 3 of the original manga volumes in one. And I had a flick through and it looks identical to the show. Even some of the speech in certain scenes was identical as well. So it was cool to see, but I wonder how long that lasts.
Nice.
On the total other side of the spectrum, I watched 65.
Why did you do it?
Not very good.
Why did you do it? Why did surely you had everyone tell you that this was not a good movie?
Yes, I was with like Max, her housemates, and one of their friends that's staying with them right now, and we were.
Did you start this at 11?
No, 9:30.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Too long though. It's too long.
It's 90 minutes.
Was it?
Yeah.
It's way too long.
It's a short movie. That's why I was like, you started at 11. That's an okay.
Yeah, it felt way too long.
Yeah. It's a shit movie.
It is. So we basically we were scrolling through, I think because we rented it off Apple TV. They have Apple TV and rent stuff all the time.
Yeah.
We were scrolling through that for like half an hour. And we got to that. Someone was like, oh, it's Adam Driver. Like, I like him. You know, we watched the trailer. So, yeah. One of them was like, that looks good. I didn't say anything because I didn't want to be the one that's like, this movie's going to suck. Like, I've only heard bad things.
Yeah. You never know.
So we jumped in, watched it. Look, the action and the visual effects were fine. It was all totally fine. Like, visually,
they're awesome.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Story's boring as heck.
Yeah.
Like, nothing happens. It's just, there's no progression to anything at all. There's no character progression. There's just nothing. It's just bland, but visually great. But
it's
bland.
awesome. Yeah.
Man, have you seen it?
Yeah. I watched it with Zara, and she left and was like, I think that was my favorite movie. And I was like, let me tell you why you're wrong. And then halfway through the car journey, she's like, yeah, you're right. I'm like, I'm sorry. You can't have that opinion. I'm sorry, Zara.
Yeah.
You can't. Yep. You can't do it. It's just like, and I also feel bad because I feel like there's a good movie in there. Like, there's a fucking cool twist, but the twist is in the title crawl 10 minutes in. And it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it sucks.
And it's annoying because the end credits of the film, I'm like, oh, if this is where I found out, it would have been sick. But it's like the whole movie, I've known this. So why? Because, and also like, there's so much dialogue that does nothing that I'm like, if you ripped all the dialogue out and it was mostly just phisically acting.
Yeah.
I'm also like, this would have been a sick movie.
If it was basically just a silent film,
Yeah, it's like, early on, he realizes, I can't talk to you. And like, there's nice, like, I think there's ASL in it. Or is it just like general...
I don't know if there's exactly ASL, but
they work out a communication.
They do work out individual words.
Yeah, which is bullshit.
That they both understand. Yeah, totally.
Because it's like that's a whole nother language to her.
Yeah,
and vice versa. It's like, just she's not going to work that out.
Family hill.
Yeah,
she's like, family hill. That's all she says the whole time. It's like, no, she doesn't know.
So
that's not a word.
No.
It's not a word.
But if they early on worked out they couldn't talk and it was all through physical performance, I'm like, it would have been an awesome movie because they're great actors.
Yeah.
But it's just the script is horrible.
She like the girl in it. Well, I think his daughter is the daughter from Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes.
As well.
Yeah.
Which is cool. She's not in it all that much, but that was the one other actor that I knew. I feel like I recognized the main girl, but I don't know what she's from.
Yes, she's in something recent, but
yeah.
It's wild that you watched that.
Just, whatever.
Sad that you had to fall upon it.
Yeah. Back to some good things I watched. I watched Porco Rosso, the Studio Ghibli film.
Oh, okay.
It's the pig pilot one.
Yep.
Yeah. Just if you know, the images of the characters but not the names. It's a pig man that's a pilot. Really fun, like quite a fun movie. So that's good. Still getting through those Ghibli movies. It's been good. It's been really fun, really chill.
Work your way up to Grogu and the Dust Bunnies, the 3-minute animated short from Studio Ghibli.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that actually a thing?
Yeah.
Oh, Studio Ghibli animated.
Yeah.
Sick.
It's shit.
Oh, damn.
It's an ongoing joke with Ben and I that Studio Ghibli created the worst piece of Star Wars entertainment. It's like, how did this happen?
That is really weird. That is really funny.
It's very stupid.
I watched episode 1 of the new series of Black Mirror.
Oh, yeah.
Dig it.
Apparently that one's really good.
It is. It's really cool.
Yeah.
It's got multiple levels. It's got really fun actors. It's got Salma Hayek basically playing herself, and a whole bunch of other actors that I'm not going to spoil for the people going to watch it, who all play themselves at one stage, and it's so funny. Yeah, it's great. Like, go check it out. Just at least the first episode, if anything.
Yeah, I've heard the other ones are like, it's like, that's amazing, and then the others are, I like the other Black Mirror episodes.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, there's just like there's 2 a season that you're like, fuck yeah, and then the rest exist.
Yeah. Like this one's really good. It's quite self-aware because it's all based around Netflix.
Sick.
Which is very good. That's all the stuff I've watched.
I've watched some things.
Yeah, totally.
The most recent thing I watched...
I actually watched one more thing. I jumped over a thing, but we'll come back to it. That's right.
You're leaped. The most recent thing I watched on Thursday. I finally caved because Finchy was like, let's go see it. I saw The Flash. And it's pretty weird.
Okay.
It's a very strange movie.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't mention it on Back Pocket, so I'll mention it here because Milk and I were talking about it. It is a morally disgusting movie by the end of it. It does some things ethically that's not cool, and for that reason, any like good vibes I had fell off so fucking hard when those things happen.
Is it aware?
No, not at all. Like they do things that they're like, hey, you're gonna cheer for this, right? And it's like, fuck you. This is disgusting.
Jeez.
What are you doing? And so that hurts. There's a lot of things that Ezra does in the film as Barry Allen that like don't look good now.
Oh no.
Like, there is a line that they say in the film that is literally, I could punch you or I could drug you. And it was like, wow. Yeah, wow. It's very hard because there is obviously a lot of problems with Ezra Miller. And there are a lot of things that they need to sort out and get help for. But it just feels like this movie never should have come out. Like, it really should have gone on the back burner with Batgirl and everything else they can, because it doesn't... It's so strange because there are things in this movie that I was genuinely like, oh, this is cool. This is so... Like, there are scenes, there are ideas. Ezra Miller's performance is fucking cool. Like, they are really good in this movie.
That's annoying. They're a good actor.
Yeah,
it's
so good.
Unlike, your Jared Leto, who is a jerk and is also not good at acting.
Yeah, get rid of him. That's fine.
Yeah, it's annoying that Ezra is actually a really good actor, but just a terrible guy.
Totally, like, because they have a double act, as you can see in the trailer, and like Sam described it to me, and seeing it in the film as well. It's like they're 2 separate people. Like, they're doing the Marty, like, that's why I love this movie, the Back to the Futurisms. They are doing the Marty McFly, Michael J. Fox thing of like, that is 2 separate characters. That's young Marty McFly and that's older one. And there's an awesome, like, there almost is an awesome sense of closure for the Flash movie, for the DCU Snyderverse.
Okay.
But then there isn't. Like, it should feel like, oh, this is the end of all of that, but then it isn't. And so then it makes this whole film useless, because it's like, if this is a cool bookend and it's like, oh, everything going forward is the new, but it doesn't want to be certain in what it's doing. Michael Keaton's just useless in this movie. Like, it's what I expected from like the No Way Home Spideys, where they're just there. That's what it feels like. Every time he's on screen, it's like, why are you here, man? Like, you're not... The thing that I said on Pocket, I wish this film had the same legality and problems as the Sam Raimi movies, in that they could only use the Flash. If this was a purely the Flash movie, perfect. Like, this could have been such a sick movie. But every time they do anything that isn't the Flash, I'm like, go back. Where are you going? You're just derailing the film. And it also is just visually awful. Like, his Barry Allen's first run, I almost threw up. Like, it made me so ill. It's a cool, like, rubber band thing that's in a few of the trailers. But then as soon as Barry starts running and the world's just moving past him, it was like, oh fuck, man.
Yeah.
So there's also strange things.
Just even in the trailer, Supergirl looks so rubbery. Like,
there's some rubber people in this movie.
Yeah, she doesn't look great. Like,
nah.
Is she good as like? How is she in the film?
She's the most Snyderverse character because she's so fucking broody.
Sure.
Like the whole movie, I'm like, just lighten up, bud. Like she's cool, and like I wouldn't mind the performance, the actress playing the character going forward. Like that would be great because she's got a cool look. But just as a character in the movie, it's just like whatever.
Damn.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame. There is cool stuff in there. I think it'll be a good at-home watch for sure. Like it's a fun movie, but just some things that haven't aged well. There's oh my god, there's so many just things that Barry Allen does in this movie, and I'm like, oh no. But it's that, and then the next scene, Ezra does such a fucking great performance, and it's like I can't decide if I like this or not. It's very weird. It's very odd, but
morally grey film.
Yeah, it's nuts. But that's The Flash. I'm sure it'll be on digital in the next month, so give that a watch if you want.
Nice.
I also got to see, and it's out this Thursday, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Nice.
And it is very good. It's like it's not perfect, but like the world of Indiana Jones did end in Last Crusade. Like there was never going to be a better movie than the original three. And in the same way that people came to the Star Wars sequel trilogies and the prequels expecting them to be better than the original movies, it's never going to fucking happen. So if you come to this movie just wanting to see an Indiana Jones movie, you're going to have a good time. Harrison Ford is so good in it. Like, so good in it.
Yeah, sick. Because he's happy. Because he's
so happy.
He's doing his favorite role of all time.
And it just feels it. Like, he's just... In the same way he is in Shrinking in 1923. Like, he's good in everything but Star Wars. He just hates being in Star Wars. It's so fun. Like, I can't wait to talk about it more. I feel like maybe I should do a pod with Milk on it because Milk's going to be very... I hope Milk enjoys it. We'll see. And all our patrons. But I really liked it. I saw it with my dad. Dad fucking loved the movie.
Great.
And I'm like, if my father enjoyed this film for all it is, like, you should be able to. Like, it's more his child. Well, it's not his childhood. It's his adolescence life. Yeah. Like, if he loved this movie, and then we watched Kingdom of Crystal Skull. Kingdom of Crystal Skull is awesome. I fucking loved it. I've only ever watched it once at the cinema. It also is good. I think there isn't a single bad Indiana Jones movie, and I hope that when people get their hands on this one, that they enjoy it. It's very, very different. It's a lot slower because he's 80 years old, and the film is so aware of that. They don't make him do anything that he can't do, which is so good.
Nice.
Like, it's so nice.
I decided when I saw you seeing that with your dad on Instagram, I was like, man, I gotta watch those movies with Max. So they're gonna be the movies I now suggest for the next like week or so leading up so that we can go and see Dial of Destiny. But maybe we'll watch a couple today or something.
Yeah. Oh, this is so
She's
good.
never
This
seen
so good.
any of them. So,
no.
And I've only seen
Finchie
a couple.
hadn't either. Finchie hadn't seen them, and I sat him down for Raiders, and he loved it. Raiders is such a good movie. So, yeah, definitely recommend those.
Nice.
And then the last two things. One, Secret Invasion. Have you watched that yet?
I haven't. I only found out it was out because someone yesterday messaged me and said that the AI intro was awful.
Oh, it's bad. It's bad.
Yeah.
That's out. I don't love it, but I hope it gets better. That's all I'll say on that. We'll probably talk about it more next week.
Yeah.
Then the final thing I watched, which is such a strange experience, is Fubar, which is the Arnold Schwarzenegger, not the documentary about him, which released a week after this show, but the show that he's in, the fictional show.
Yeah.
Bizarre. It's really fun. Like, it's really fun. It is consistently like, you wait for it to get really B-grade, like, dad movie, and the whole time it kind of is, but it's fun and it's like self-aware, and it actually is the most, because they're all an hour long episodes and there's 8 of them. It's the most like, you've split a 8-hour movie into episodes I've ever watched, because it's shot like an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie from like the last 5 years. Like, it visually it feels like that. The acting is very much those kinds of movies. Like, it's really cool. And it also has, like, it feels like it was only going to be a single idea the whole way, but it branches out into like a character drama with like relationships crossing through and stuff. And it's a lot bigger than I kind of expected it to be. And the final episode, which is only 45 minutes after every episode being an hour, for some reason that one drops to 45.
Weird. Usually it's like double the length or hour and a half or something.
No, close to 45. It was really, really good. And it was a sick ending to the show. Cool. It's like corny as fuck. And it is like, your dad should watch it because it's like, it's totally in the realm of like
dad film.
The Grey Man and stuff like that. Like nice. It feels like that. So it's definitely a dad film. Big recommend. Watch it over, like we watched it over like 4 weeks. Like it's definitely not worth binging because they're an hour episodes and they feel like little movies. So it's like,
yeah, cool, nice.
Just watching them over the time. And it's like, it's so weird watching Arnie in it because he's now the head of action at Netflix. It's like, this feels like his pitch movie of like, this is why you should hire me. And it's like, watch that. And then he's the fucking head of that. But yeah, really, really fun. Well cool. Worth a watch.
Does the title make sense to the rest of the show? Because FUBAR stands for effed up beyond all repair.
Yeah. That doesn't come into play until very late. And I still didn't know that until you just said that. And so when it did come into play, I was like, it's a weird explanation for the name of the show. He just said a word. So that makes sense. That was a thing. Like that's a military thing in the world wars and stuff. Yeah, right.
Like if something is FUBAR or like, you know, someone will say FUBAR when they're like a pilot crashing their plane.
It's
or
over.
Something. It's
right.
That's it. And then for some reason, programming took it and used it as like...
Of course they did.
You know, as like X and Y in calculus. So whenever there's a arbitrary, you know, thing that need like a function or like piece of code or something that needs to be called something.
Yep.
It's called foo, F-O-O. For some reason, they changed it. And then if there's a secondary part to that, it's called bar. So we've got foo and bar as like placeholder names for things. So I looked it up and I'm like, why foo and bar? And then I found out that FUBAR was that, and it
was that.
Yeah.
That's so funny. That was definitely a nerd that was like a military nut that was like, I'm going to make it this.
Yeah, probably. So good.
But yeah,
nice.
Give it a watch. I'm definitely going to watch the Arnie show now as well, the actual docu-series.
Yeah, cool. Nice. So many like documentaries on kind of the 80s, 90s people, like their rise during those times.
They're all going to die, sir.
That's right. Yeah, you need to get them before they're gone.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it took this long to do one for Michael J. Fox because, man, I'm surprised he's still alive.
He's holding on.
It's good. The last thing that I did watch, just to jump back to that, is a very frustrating kind of crime doco thing. Sort of crime, but sort of not. It's a weird one. I guess it's just a documentary, but it's called Look After Maya, or Please Look After Maya.
Okay.
So it's on Netflix and it follows a family, or it's about a family so it's like husband and wife, 2 kids. The daughter is Maya. She has like this chronic pain when she's quite young. She's about 8 to 10 years old. Has this chronic pain. She goes to a bunch of hospitals. Her mum is a nurse. Goes to a bunch of hospitals. All of them are like, we don't know what's wrong. We can't figure it out. Don't worry about it. And her mum's like, no, we're going to figure this out.
Yeah.
So they find some specialists who they think can help. They can. There is like a bunch of, I think basically they prescribe ketamine, which is quite a heavy drug, but is very useful for this particular thing that she has. It's basically like chronic pain and all this stuff. That's there is a name for it. It's like PGCS or something. And she undergoes like crazy treatments. There's one where it's an experimental treatment in Mexico, which is where they give her, I think, 50 times the ketamine dosage that they were giving to her before, because that ketamine dosage didn't do anything. And that would put her in a coma, and they keep up that and it like resets the whole body. Like ketamine does a certain thing to a bunch of your organs that aren't bad.
Yeah.
But it like helps like reset some stuff, and done under proper supervision and things like that can be quite useful in medical.
Yeah.
That's what I've learned from this. Anyway, after that, she takes a little while to recover. She hasn't walked for a while because her legs and her feet end up like pointing almost inwards and stuff, like because of all this pain. She can't walk anymore after that.
Yeah.
She goes through a bunch of, therapy and gets back to it. And then she starts to decline again. So they take her to a hospital. The hospital doesn't, like, no one at the hospital has heard of this sickness that they say that she's got.
Yeah.
The mum's like, this is the medication she's on. The hospital is like, that's abuse of your daughter. Even though she's been having this for a while, she got better. She's been way better. Other hospitals like prescribed this. This is a whole situation.
Yeah.
They're just like, no, this is abuse. You're under arrest. They arrest the parents.
Yep.
Like basically, well, they stop her parents from being able to see her anymore. While they keep her in hospital for over 3 months. And it's so heavy. I was almost in tears at some stage. Like it is so intense. So it's like, it's basically about how absolutely effed up the medical and legal and child services system in America is. Like it's crazy. In terms of games, what do you think? I've just been playing Zelda.
And there's like 4 hours of that to listen to.
yes, that's right. There's plenty of that. So yeah, go check out the Hyrule Hijinks. Ben and I are still doing it. We've probably got maybe another 2 episodes in the bag if I'm able to finish it, which at this stage I'm stuck not too much further from where I was last week. So I've just been running around sort of getting buffer to be able to... That
sounds like the Switch. I'm unsurprised the Switch buffers.
Very good. Very good.
Just get stuck.
That's it. So yeah, just been going through that and played Diablo with Ben. All of this stuff is very visible to everybody listening to this. So it's no surprise. But yeah, playing Diablo with Ben on streams, which has been great. Super keen to dive into it more. The one thing that we did discuss, I think either during the stream or after, was that I'd be keen to play this more outside of the stream, but do the side quests, because there's a bunch of side quests that I have been collecting. Yeah. But it means like I can do side stuff, but we can just mainline the story.
Main the story.
On streams, and then I can, I can be stronger and, more like at a better point once we get to other story things, and I'll be able to play it and actually understand the game more. It's really hard to get into such a detailed game when you have to stream it.
Yeah.
There's so many moving pieces.
Yeah.
And so many things to learn,
entertain the chat.
Yeah, pretty much. So there's a lot that I feel I missed having streamed the start of it.
Yep.
So it'd be good to jump in and understand the world more.
Yeah. Yeah, cool.
On that. So that's what I've been playing. Have you been playing anything?
No. Not a single thing.
I saw you did a stream. I don't know how long ago it was. I totally missed it. But you did one with Sam and... Was Finchy there too? Yeah, playing...
We played
something up?
Only Going Up.
Only Up or something. Yeah.
Which was a big TikTok trend for a little while. It was basically a Bennett Foddy-like game of like fuck you the game. And it was something. It was definitely I've gotten everything I need out of this thing in one stream. Yeah. But it's fun. Like it is well worth giving it a go. It's still like in the algorithm on TikTok, so like maybe it'll come back. But
my best mate Sam Tabor played it for the first time this week, so I saw it and was like, that does look kind of fun to stream. And then a couple of days later I saw you put a social out. I'm like, cool, that's done.
That's done. Yeah, it's very fun. I've definitely got to cut an actual thing from it. Finchy did very well. Finchy just powered through that thing. Wow. Yeah. And still reading.
Like, did he play Getting Over everything?
No, not at all.
Wow.
No. He just nailed it. And then Sam and I fucked it up, and we were like, all right, that's it. Like, he left. He had somewhere to go, and we like streamed for an extra 10 minutes, and I missed a jump, and we're like, okay, stream's over.
That's what I saw.
Yeah.
Devastating.
No.
Yeah.
So, good fun, but yeah, definitely not Game of the Year contender, I don't think.
Fair. Yeah.
I'd also recommend anyone who wants a cool statue to get this one.
So good.
Spider-Gwen with a really cool little weird perspective base. Yeah, it's an interesting one. It's actually really interesting because she's painted in a way where that's like she's painted grey with like white highlights, so it kind of looks like a nighttime thing.
Ah, interesting. Okay.
So it's like all the shadows that you're seeing on the figure is painted on.
Yeah.
And like the front of her leg, this is like a light blue, and the back is black. So that this actually has the contrast that you kind of expect.
And there's a changeable head as well.
There's a Spider-Gwen head, and the lens is a mirror, like kind of nice mirror lenses. So they got some cool reflection. There's no light up features, but this one, which the Spider-Gwen noggin is exclusive to it, was a limited number. And did I send you the number? I did. That's right.
You did.
Yeah. It's very good. Only
Crazy.
Number 4 of 500 is pretty cool.
That's unreal.
So it makes me very happy. I've got 0 places to put this thing though, because it's the 4th 1/4 scale thing that I have, and I only have 3 holes for it. So I'll work that one out. But maybe I don't recommend doing it.
I was excited by my number of my PewDiePie.
That's right. Yeah.
Figurine. I was like, out of 100 million. 38,028 is pretty good.
It's not a bad number. That's in the low 50,000s.
Yeah, not bad.
That's cool. That's cool though. That's cool that he numbered that many of them. That's very fun.
Yeah. Awesome. And then he had one and just gave it away. He's like, I should have this. Like
weird.
a fan. Yeah, he's like a fan who. Yeah. Like a fan who's been following me for a while deserves this more than I do.
Deserves number 1.
It's very cool.
Sure, Pewds. I fucking keep that thing. But that's the podcast. Hopefully that was fun. Before we wrap, we've of course got the TOV guide, tell you everything that's coming out in the next week. Kicking off today of the launch of this podcast, Tuesday the 27th. Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life, which is a farming game.
Great.
Get in it.
Get in it.
Get in it. Get in that farming. It's coming to all the consoles. The interesting thing about this game is that it is a remake of A Wonderful Life, which is a Harvest Moon game. But Harvest Moon, I think in Japan, is called Story of Seasons. Western, it's always been called Harvest Moon. So instead of making it the exact same name as the game they're remaking, they've called it Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life. So they've taken the Japanese name
and then
put
added
it on
another thing.
Yeah.
Gosh.
It's very Nintendo.
It is.
But
it is.
Enjoy that if you enjoy that.
Very Japanese, yeah.
Very Japanese. Just too many names. Wednesday 28th in cinemas is, of course, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Give it a watch. Also, on the streamings, you got Secret Invasion Episode 2. The Mandalorian Season 3 Behind the Scenes is finally out. So a good look behind the scenes on that.
Nice.
And on Apple TV, a show called Hijack, which is 7 episodes, 7 hours, and it's a thriller that follows the journey of a hijacked flight en route to London happening in real time. So it's like 7 episodes, 7 hours, because it's a flight that lasts for 7 hours.
Cool, nice.
Saying it all take place, starring Idris Elba. So that'll be fun.
Nice, yes. Yeah. Very good.
Cool. The tag for it was like, I think it said, it's not 24, it's 7. It's like, that's not a fucking... Instead of the show 24, I was like, sure. You haven't sold me. I need to read... But to be fair, it made me want to read more because I was like, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah, what the heck? That's so funny.
Very keen. Thursday 29th, AEW Fight Forever, which is a big old WWE kind of game. It's Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, and PC. Reality, which is a Sydney Sweeney film, which looks very interesting and is getting some good reviews. I could only find a session at 7 p.m. on Monday at the Ritz, which is before Thursday the 29th, which is confusing.
Huh.
But I think it may be a hangover from the film festival. They added a few extra dates. So it'll be out from Thursday the 29th. Also, Thursday the 29th, the final season with Henry Cavill as The Witcher. The Witcher Season 3 drops.
Ooh, never watched Season 2. I got to get onto that.
I never watched episode 2. There's episodes 1 through 5 drop.
Amazing.
The rest of them drop in July 27th. So Netflix is really just using that Stranger Things model for everything now. Just half a season, drop the rest later.
Yep.
So that's on Thursday. And then Friday we have Nimana, which I haven't... that's how it's said. I just said it weirdly.
Yeah.
Which is a very cool animated film. As with so many of the animated flicks now, there's a cool style to it that is like a little bit like animated on twos and stuff. But it's almost like there's a game I played on Spawn Point. It was like Bike Friends or something. But it's all like 2D that moves in a 3D space in a cool way. It's an interesting movie because it was originally being made at Blue Sky, which of course was related to Fox Studios. Disney bought Fox. Disney found out the film has strong LGBTQ plus themes. They said, we don't want to make it anymore. Weird that, Disney. Weird choice you made there. Then the film got bought by Annapurna Pictures.
Ooh, nice.
Which is a great home for a film that's of that variety. And they were like, fuck you, we're going to make the movie, and gave it to Netflix. And it's on Netflix on Friday. Very exciting. It's got like Chloe Grace Moretz, or Moretz, whichever. I read it, I see the letters, and I say it one of the two ways every time. And Riz Ahmed as well. And the trailer is awesome. So like, give it a look. It looks like a beautiful animated film. Also on Netflix is It Cake Season 2?
Amazing.
Still kicking.
Is it?
Still kicking. Wish it wasn't. Wish it wasn't cake. I want everything in the show not to be cake, so it's just people biting into metal objects.
Yeah. Is this a real hand? Yes.
It's a hand. Bite it. Find out. And how many seasons, and you can fuck this one up as well. How many seasons of Tom Clancy Jack Ryan do you think we're up to?
I would have thought like 3.
Season 4.
Okay.
The final. Yeah, you're pretty close.
Yeah.
But the fact there's 4 of those seasons.
I don't remember a second one coming out.
No. I remember there being like, there's more of it. And I was like, oh, cool. Like maybe split a season in half. But no, 4th and final season coming to Prime on Friday. Thank God. End that shit.
I guess, yeah.
I've not seen a single episode, but just finish it.
Yeah. We don't need more of that. We're done.
Nah.
We're over it.
Yeah, I'm over the Tom Clancy universe. Never make anything from it again.
Amazing.
Rainbow
and
Six.
I'm going to recommend some stuff that is currently already out, but I'm just gonna recommend it.
Yeah, you can do that.
Steam Next Fest is happening. It's all happening. So you can go play some games. I, for one, want to play Ollie Frog Toad Skater.
Nice.
Which, from what I can tell, is like looks like a pretty good Tony Hawk, like fun, cool. Like soft kiddie Tony Hawk game. Again, best friend Sam Tabor played the demo, or some of the demo, and all of the button combinations and stuff just looked exactly what you would expect. Yep. And the frog is like very much, it's almost like a Kirby, but a frog. So it's very round. And whenever he bails, he like kind of rolls like just a little bit. He's like very quick. And he's very like squishy and soft. So whatever's on the ground is like flattened out.
Yep.
And then like comes around like a bit of fat and then goes into his shape. So he sort of rolls on this very like fatty sort of section. And I think there's a squeak, like a squeaker toy squeak when he lands. So it's like,
cute. It sounds like a good skatebird.
Exactly. I'm like, man, why didn't this come out a couple of years ago and not Skatebird? So yeah, definitely going to jump into that. But there's something that everyone should jump into, and now that it's actually out and I know that I can talk about it, you should go and jump into the Moving Out 2 demo. It's actually out, available to play. Grab a friend. There's local multiplayer in the demo.
Yep.
You can also do Steam remote play, whatever the thing is. You can do that. Online play has been disabled for the demo, so you can't play it online, but Steam has the capability to still kind of play it online, and the feature works pretty well based on what you and I had played before when we've done remote play stuff.
Better than PlayStation.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, go check it out. It's good demo. There's some good stuff in it. It's good fun. So go check that out. And I would also like recommendations on what people are playing on Next Fest, because I'd like to check out some cool stuff. So if anyone has been playing some stuff and think that I'd be into it, hit me up. Hit me up in the podcast channel. Catch up channel.
Catch up channel. And what's that show called? Let us know in there.
Kept going stream channel, but I'm like, not in there.
No. We don't want any stream talk. But if you do want some stream talk, we're usually live on Mondays at twitch.tv/ettonline. It's a variety of people. Someone is probably there. Yeah. Every second week, we're on Wednesdays as well for That Figures, and around other places as well. Sometimes there's YouTube uploads of boys talking about Zeldas.
Hell yeah. So good. So good.
And I'm sure more stuff once that ends, because you can't stop talking about cool games.
There's one thing we've been discussing, because we don't talk and review games that much anymore on this.
No.
And
no one does.
Yeah. Ben, that's right. And Ben and I play the same games. You and I very rarely are into the same games. Unless it's like a huge one, like a Spider-Man or a... something like that.
Something IP.
Yeah. But it's like when there's like little indies or these other ones, it's often Ben and I that are playing it. And we're like, why don't we do a video gamey chat podcast and stuff from time to time? So so we're floating that idea and thinking about that just to fill that space in of more podcasts,
more gamey stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. Very exciting. So all that stuff arriving in your digital space. I'm trying my best not to say what I usually say, because I like it's not what I mean. It never is what I mean. When I say the thing in your face, I genuinely mean you getting to watch the things. But I realize that it is like a very gross thing to say. So I will try not to say it that way in future.
Yes.
I'm going to do my best to remove that gag. And this isn't building to me making the gag. This is building to me realizing that like my brain is slowly turning off.
It's trying to change his ways.
Yeah, that's right.
This is your character progression moment for the podcast.
Yeah. Not like 65.